Coffee, Tea, and ERP webinar today. My name is Eddie Diaz, Director of Sales here at ACC Accounting Solutions. Before I introduce our presenter today, wanted to let you know how you can ask your questions. On the right side of your screen, you'll see a chat option. Please enter your questions in the chat box. So have your questions ready. If Sean doesn't answer them during his short presentation, we'll have a live Q&A at the end so you can ask the experts. I also want to mention that all attendees will be eligible for a free business needs assessment, so stick around until the end to learn more about that. With that, I want to introduce a presenter today. Sean Atkins is the president of ACC Accounting Solutions with over 20 years experience in the ERP space. So with that, I hand it over to Sean.
Thank you, Eddie. I want to thank everybody for attending our Coffee, Tea, and ERP webinar series. So who are we? ACC, we're an organization that's in the knowledge business. We teach organizations like yours how to implement and perform daily tasks on the ERP system, how to get the data in, and then insights out. What is ERP? Well, ERP, standing for Enterprise Resource Planning System, it's a term used to describe a group of integrated applications that a business would use to manage and share data sets or a database. Having a fully integrated system that allows for each part of your company to perform their tasks and have visibility and seeing the connecting processes. So ERP software is flexible, scalable, it's adaptable, and it's affordable. So people wonder, where does it live? Where do I find my applications? Well, it could reside on your server, it could be in your office, in your server room, or it could reside in the cloud. And you have the choice. You could have it in a hosted environment, kind of like Rackspace, or you could have it in a public cloud, like in Microsoft's or Amazon's cloud services. The choice is yours, and we're here to help you to make that decision so that you could run your company. Having an integrated automated system deals with a bunch of parts. Let's talk about sales and marketing. Having an integrated CRM allows for your salespeople to have up-the-minute access to customers' purchase history, or outstanding invoice balances, or inventory levels, or who they should be calling now because they've not ordered recently. And the marketing can be drip marketing campaigns that come right from your customer database, providing new product information, your company events, or even offering others to help build customer retention. Having a warehouse solution will help maintain the accurate levels of stock and the raw goods to keep production rolling and preventing stockouts. Knowing exactly how much product we have on the shelves and what's coming close to the expired date, the inventory module is truly the heart of the operation. Production is a constantly moving process, and with maintaining the consistency of your product from taste, color, smell, there's no other place than to capture the recipes and know exactly how much it took to make that 1 pound of product or that 16-ounce bottle. From the cost of the roast to the labor at the dump pit to right down to the label of the product. Having each piece included is what ERP delivers. Having production integrated provides the start of the manufacturing lot traceability, but without quality control procedures in place, making tracking the QC manual process becomes impossible. ERP makes having a mock recall done in a couple of hours versus several days. Having lot traceability at the raw goods right down to which customer who bought your product. Having automated reminders of vendors for audit testing, and storing everything paperless within recalls and having it back at a push of a few buttons. ERP makes QC work. Delivering our product is just as important from shipping, a shipping system that's integrated with UPS or FedEx, and tracking notices and picking sheets automatically being emailed to the customer, to route delivery systems, which handle for the driver to capture the customer's signature, accept credit cards, or even emailing them a copy of the invoice. Nothing's better than having the service equipment side. Having service equipment and knowing in advance in an email in the morning to the operations department, what's scheduled for this month or week or today, what needs to be serviced, or what the cleaning schedule is. No longer do they need to flip the book and find the document. Now it can be sent to them on a regular basis. ERP means everyone's included. It helps you pull the whole organization together, and with everybody's involvement, the process runs that smooth. With all of this technology, management is going to need a way to know how things are doing. Again, having one integrated system allows for the real-time decisions. And with today's dashboards, that information is right at your fingertips. So how do you know if you need ERP? Ask yourself, are you relying on a lot of Excel spreadsheets that runs your company? How many of those Excel spreadsheets and how many users need to have access to those sheets? How many of those sheets could have mistakes? Ask yourself, does it take more than a few clicks to get a report? Do you have several places that you need to go to pull together the information to make a business decision? How long does that take? Do you have non-IT people in your company managing your network? How much time are they spending or not spending on their job that they were hired for? What does that cost the company? Are there lessons learned regularly? Are there mistakes that you keep fixing? ERP allows for organizations to have these processes in place. Ask yourself again, can we handle twice as much business as we have now? So, hopefully at this point you recognize that ERP may be what you need. But now what? One, we can conduct a free needs analysis of your company. We basically come in and talk with your organization. We talk with purchasing. We sit down with the inventory warehouse. We talk with QC. We try to find the processes that you're currently doing, where the weak areas are, and we help try to provide an insight into where your problems are and how they can be fixed. Our team of experts will sit on the phone or we'll meet on site, and we try to help you make decisions that you can have right then and there. terms of, oh, if this chain of documents gets set together, this corrects this process. And then we try to give you a demonstration of where those things get fixed in the system. If everything makes sense to you, we'd be happy to help put together a quote. We are one of those people that would like to be a partner. This is not a sale. Our office does extensive training. Majority of our project really is training-based, business process-based. Again, we're in the business of knowledge transfer. Once we feel that the team is ready, the implementation is then ready for go live. And we're there every step of the way and continued support. Our contact information, if you'd like to reach out to us, please direct your calls to Eddie. I'm sure he'd be able to help you. If you're ready for the next step, we'd love to be able to have some time to schedule a free assessment with you today. I'd like to now open it up to questions.
Okay, well, I just want to give everyone a couple of minutes to submit their questions. While they're doing that, someone earlier asked about e-commerce and point-of-sale integrations. So can you talk about that a little bit, Sean?
Yeah, sure. E-commerce and point-of-sale. So with e-commerce, a lot of organizations today have web pages, and they may have shopping carts that are on their site. And a lot of that information may be currently just sent together of daily sales that people have purchased. Those sales orders are then sent to the office, and most of the time somebody's re-entering it into the accounting system. There are a series of different kinds of connectors that are available that we can connect your existing site to our software, so there could be a software integration capability with one of those connectors. Or if you're not happy with the site, or you don't really have an e-commerce site, something from the ground up can be built that's specific to your industry. In terms of a point of sale, Sage integrates, or accounting applications integrate with cash register systems. So we can completely have a point of sale system with the same high tech that you would see in a restaurant, with touch screens, with cash registers accepting Visa, MasterCard, American Express, any of the credit card processing that you'd want it, as well as handling coupons or people that are interested in taking gift cards.
All right, and again, you can submit your questions on the right side of your screen in the chat box. Someone said, how long does an implementation take?
For the most part, implementations can be from the time that we actually decide to get started, and we have access to the server. So the server component is typically the piece that once we get there, everything seems to run smoothly. But for the most part, usually within 90 days, implementations can be done. Some more challenging, depending on how many users we're dealing with, and if website connectivity is going to be revamped or built from the ground up. It may take a little bit longer. You might be looking at 120 days. So anywhere between 3 to 4 months would be a typical implementation.
Okay, great. And how do you handle weight fluctuation from green beans to roasted beans?
You know what, in any typical process, either it be in tea or it be in coffee, the raw goods that go into the product are going to have some differences. So when building the recipe, you're going to be able to note how big or how much of a difference it is going to be from the time that the product goes in to the product comes out. In this case, roasted beans typically can go somewhere between 20 to 28% loss in weight. So the typical product that you're building, if a large capacity roasting machine will do 525 pounds, that's how much actual green beans you're dealing with, but the actual output could be somewhere in the neighborhood of 450 pounds, 438 pounds, so somewhere in that vicinity. When building the recipes, we account for the roasted differences. And we provide different ways depending on how the recipes want to be built. So in terms of a single level build, we will roast, or even with teas need to be weathered. We'll take a raw product, turn it into almost like a sub-assembly, in this case green bean to roasted bean, and then have roasted bean available for blends or for degassing or grinding or bagging at that point, where weathered would actually go into bruising or drying areas. So it could be some different areas that we're trying to capture costs, what kind of labor we're trying to capture into it. So capturing those differences, we make it available based on each recipe, on how much product we gain and then what that loss is as we get to the finished production.
Okay, great. Someone says that they have a cafe and a roasting facility, and they would like to know how the software handles multiple companies.
Oh, it's multi-company. Our systems are multi-company out of the gate. So if you had one company or if you had 100 companies, there's no problem. You can go ahead and define each individual company. We'll set up a different chart of accounts. We'll set up the customers may be the same or different. You may have similar vendors. So setting up and defining different organizations. In this case, you said it was a cafe and it was a roastery? Is that what you said?
Yep, that's right. Yeah.
Okay. So in terms of the cafe side, we can have a point of sale system that's all part of the accounting system on one company, and the users and the access is all security role driven based. So they can come in and they could be able to enter in sales and activities that are at the cafe level. If they're maintaining food or they're maintaining the different kinds of finished products, or even hard products like coffee mugs or I guess shirts or things that they sell at a cafe. That information can be completely separated in a separate company than the roasting company. So the roasting company have its own inventory, raw goods and items as well. So even though that the data is stored in the same area, they will look isolated to themselves, but you can have consolidated reporting to come back at the AP level as well as to the GL level.
All right, great. And I'm sort of shortening this question, but they are basically asking how the software handles changing ingredients during the production process. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense. You know what, it could be a couple different things. If I have, and I think this is where this question is going to, if I have a lot, I'm making a particular bean or a blend of beans, and I ran out of one of the lots, but I'm able to kind of incorporate a second or third lot during production process. And the answer is yes. You can incorporate, when doing production entry, you're able to use what we call a backfill process. In this case, you're basically building your production, and then after the production's done, you basically can say what ingredients went into the production. If you're doing it in real time, there's an entry field where you can decrease the quantity of a particular product or raw good and insert a brand new one or increase another one that's already on the bill. So if something's on the bill, and I'll just use two different coffee blends. Let's just say we had Guatemalan and we had Colombian, and the Guatemalan, there wasn't enough to complete this batch, and somebody didn't recognize that. You had the capability at this point to finish off what's remaining of the Guatemalan, add additional of the Colombian, and if you felt that there was another blend, another bean that would add to the level, you could add it to the recipe. If you didn't want to change recipes on the fly, we had the ability to do revision of the recipe so that it maintains a different revision. So someone prior to production could have changed it to revision 001 or 002, and then that would incorporate all the goods.
Okay, great. Someone is saying that they sell in pounds, sometimes by ounces, sometimes direct to consumer, and sometimes wholesale, and they're wondering how you handle different unit measurements.
All right. So let me try that one more time. So you said that what was the question one more time?
They said sometimes we sell in pounds, sometimes by ounces, sometimes direct to consumer, sometimes wholesale. How do you handle different unit measurements?
Customers, wholesale, pounds, ounces, units measure. So, there's a series of a few questions. Inside our system, we have the capability of maintaining 3 levels of measurement. So if somebody had a case or pounds, a box, you can describe whatever the smallest unit of measure that you're dealing with, and that would be your stocking unit. And then you can sell into a case, you would just have to tell it how much of that unit is. Let's take an example of we calculate everything in pounds, but we'll sell a case, and a case may have 4 5-pound bags. So pound would be the smallest unit in that case, and case would equal 5 1-pound, 4 5-pound, 1-pound bags, which basically would be 20 pounds. So that's how we would handle it in that case. If we wanted to purchase it, or we wanted to sell it maybe into ounces at that point, we could go out 4 decimal places on products, or if you need more, we could add more, but you can go out as many decimal places as you want to capture the ingredients to make a smaller size. Still capture in pounds as being a single unit, but then having less than a pound for ounces. So our unit of measure function within the accounting system can go out 3 tiers, and you can buy and sell in that way. Now, in terms of customers and wholesale, that to me is a question, and maybe I misunderstand what the person that's writing the question is asking, but we could set up sell to B2C or B2B, and we can create at the customer level the type of customer it is. If it's to a consumer or to a business, we can provide pricing schedules for them that are specific to them. So when I call up a customer, I put them on a sales order, there is different kinds of customer types. So if it's wholesale, it could pull up the wholesale pricing for that particular customer, and that customer could have like A pricing, B pricing, C pricing, however kind of pricing that you want. It could have item-specific pricing, where consumer, the same thing. If you could actually look at last order and have pricing from last order reappear on an order, or you can just have that customer pricing. It could be a type of customer, and their price levels would come up. Hopefully I answered that one for that person, Jessica, but I appreciate it.
Okay, thanks, Sean. Someone said they love the presentation, but they think that their company is too small for ERP. I know you feel pretty strongly about this, so what do you say to that, Sean?
Thanks. You know what? Size of the company is important. Obviously, the number of transactions and things that are going around for a business could be. It could make it a situation where you're thinking it's unaffordable, and you're going to try to start your business process in a certain way. My suggestion is that since now it is cloud-based or subscription-based, you can buy a single user application and still have all the functionality that I presented within the screens at a low cost. You don't need to buy, as we did historically, those full upfront, full accounting costs. You can buy pay-as-you-go and still be able to manage having QC, having production processes, having inventory control. You know, a lot of those things can come where maybe you're going to do route delivery later on. You're going to add it as your, route delivery system grows, and at that time, you probably would have more resources to be able to add to those pieces. So again, starting out on the right foot, probably the best step, because you can get quite a lot of technology at a very small dollar amount on a monthly basis today.
Okay, great. And I'd like to wrap up with my own question, actually. Let's say someone is ready to schedule a free, no strings attached needs assessment that you mentioned earlier. How would they go about scheduling that?
All right. I'd like to push that to Eddie.
I'm not sure that
Go
Eddie.
ahead. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, you can go ahead and contact me. If you can put the contact slide back up, I appreciate that. Yeah, just contact me, and then what I'll do, we can schedule some time together where we can do that needs assessment together and be able to provide you guys some answers. And, like Sean was saying, look at the workflow, trying to figure out where some of the points are where, that are not working for you guys, and just see what makes sense for you guys moving forward. So, yeah, please contact me. I'm the guy in the top of the screen, Eddie Diaz.
All right, thanks, Eddie. I hope everyone enjoys the rest of their day. We're wrapping up a little bit early here, but thanks so much for joining us. And again, contact us if you'd like to schedule that free assessment. All right, thanks so much, guys.
Thanks, Jessica. Thanks, Eddie. Take care.